Yeah, I know we gonna go hard. We been that team ever since Bart started. All my cheese heads go pack go. Ain't showing no mercy, cutting no slack, no. I ain't a bad sport and I'll even wish you good luck. Only thing I will.
What is up? Welcome to Lombardi's Legends podcast. And today we're joined by a ridiculously special guest, folks. Edge rusher Justin Hollins of the Green Bay Packers joins Lombardi's Legends podcast. Justin, how you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man.
Oh my gosh. Well, we are so excited to get you on to chat with you for a few minutes. And I got to ask you, you haven't had a chance to be on the pod before. But always ask our guests the first time, Justin, how does it feel to be Green Bay Packer?
Man, it feels special, man. You know, there's a long line of great players that come from Green Bay. You know, of course, it's one of the best teams historically, and you know, it's just Lambeau Field. You know, go Pack, go! It's just a different atmosphere out there. You know.
For sure. And Justin, we're recording this here. You're in the middle of voluntary workout programs, OTAs right now, back up in Green Bay. So we're going to talk football here in a little bit. But just first, we were talking before we got on here and started recording. How's your offseason going? How's the body feeling? Seems like not that long ago that the season was over. And yet here we are right back into football.
Oh, off season went well, man. You know, coming out of season and stuff, yeah, everybody, leaves town and just kind of step away. Some people continue to work out. I was one of those guys. I take a couple weeks off, don't do anything, kind of let the body decompress. You know what I'm saying? Because it's football is a hard game on the body. It takes a toll on you. But just got away for a couple weeks and then got back into working out. You know, after those couple weeks, you realize you get real bored. So, you got to find something to do in your spare time, and no, it's been good, man. Been getting better. Stayed healthy through the season, stayed healthy after, and we just going through workouts right now.
I love it. So, what does that look like from a workout perspective when you're not in Green Bay? You're a Texas guy originally, right? Played ball out there in the West Coast, so in Oregon. So where do you spend your time? Where do you work out when you're not in Green Bay?
When I'm not in Green Bay, of course, I spent a couple years in LA on that team, so I kind of established myself out there. Usually stay in LA, go back to Dallas area, Arlington to be more specific, because I'm from Arlington, and just between Dallas and LA, that's really where I've been. I haven't really ventured out and tried any of these other trainers in other cities like Vegas or Tennessee or anything like that. You feel me? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Justin, I think before we look ahead, I just want to go back to the moment you joined the Packers, and certainly you were, like you said, with the Rams a couple years, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and then we're with the team again all the way through most of last season, started 5 games last year. Was that a surprise to you when the Rams let you know that they were moving on and going in a different direction? And then right away, the next week, you're picked up by the Packers, thrown out there against the Eagles. And I just distinctly remember watching it, and I said, who's that 47? Because I wasn't, I'll be honest with you, didn't know exactly. We knew you signed, but a little surprised that you were out there on the field and you stood out right away. I remember Dane and I were in a Packer chat, and Dane's instantly texting like, this Hollins guy, I love him already. And so, I mean, you just really made an instant impression. So just thought I'd ask you, what was that like, first of all, because you're with the Rams, you're established, you win that Super Bowl, and all of a sudden the rug kind of gets moved from under you, but you came in and it looked like you were playing with a purpose for that short of a turnaround. So I'm just wondering, just reflecting on that now and looking back at it, what was that whole week or week and a half like for you at that point in time?
Well, I mean, I would love to say I didn't see it coming, but I never put anything past anybody. It is a business. I did start seeing signs and stuff like that, but when it happened, I was just like, okay, cool. Call the agency and see what was the talk about, and then next thing you know, I'm getting picked up by Green Bay, and I was like, okay, when I head out there, because the next day was Thanksgiving, so I'm like, okay, well, probably won't, catch a flight tonight or anything like that. But I was wrong. Caught a flight that night, was in Green Bay, flew in on Thanksgiving, got the whole medical and then went straight to practice, no sleep, coming straight off a plane, a little red eye. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. It was different. It definitely was a quick turnaround. Especially coming straight to practice and putting some pads on at practice, going one-on-ones and everything. But I ain't gonna lie, it was kind of fun. Just that little nervousness a little bit. You'd be like, well, I'm around a bunch of different people, different team, different coaching staff. You kind of gotta, try to be a spark and show what you got out the gate, So it was pretty cool. It was kind of fun, man. Not gonna lie to you, but I was tired that first practice. I was really sleepy. I was sleepy, man. I came off of like 2.5 hours of sleep at the airport, and I'm like, man, this is brutal, but we got through it.
Well, I was just going to say just a quick comment, and then Dane, you can jump in. Hopefully, you got some nice rest on the plane ride back from Philadelphia after a nice performance. You chased down Jalen Hurts for a sack. You were all over the place in the run game. So I know that was a loss for the team, but I thought that was a really impressive first performance. So hopefully, you were able to sleep well after that and settle in once you had a little bit more time.
I slept good for the next couple of days, period, But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I wish we would have won that. We really should have won it, but you know how it goes sometimes, man. That was a great team anyway. So, they went to the Super Bowl. So,
yeah. And so, you come to Green Bay on that red eye, right? You roll out to practice. I mean, are the other guys like looking at you sideways? Is Preston Smith like who's 47 out here, or do you know anybody on the team before you get there?
Well, I knew a couple people. I knew a couple people on the team before, but nah, Preston wasn't like that. Actually, everybody was. They know how it is when you get picked up off waivers anyway. You kind of come in, you kind of looking around, you don't know nobody. Guys in the room and the outside linebacker room really took me in. They was real welcoming. You feel me? Shout out to all the boys, man. And we clicked first day, you feel me? We clicked first day because I was out there running around for real. Special teams and all, didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, well, coach, what I got? He was like, well, on these plays, you got this, yada, 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 yada. And I'm like, oh, that's simple. We good. Yeah.
Well, and you had to have some familiarity with Coach Barry, right? Because he comes from the Rams. So yeah, in your first season, he would have been there. So that connection, how do you feel like you had a really good fit within his scheme and his defense, just with that familiarity coming in? And then how do you feel that projects as you move forward and going into this next season with the Packers as well?
Oh yeah, definitely some crossover there between schemes and stuff. There's a couple schemes in the league that kind of roll over into each other, but just you got to learn the verbiage. You got to learn what actually changed within certain calls and things like that, man. But he kept it simple when I was in the game, man. He ain't really do too much outside of what I already knew or what we already talked about over that week that I was leading up into that game and stuff. Because that was a night game anyway, so I even had that day to look over things. He just kind of looked out for me when I was out there. It was pretty cool, man.
For sure. So, and then, did you sit next to, Kenny or any of the other guys that you're going to be lining up next to a lot of times when you're out on the field on the plane trip out there, so you can break down a little bit of tape and just get a read on some of the tendencies? Or was it really just try to focus on what your job is to do and settle in that fashion?
It was more of just focus on my job, settle in, know exactly who I'm dealing with when it comes, like pass rush and things like that. Kenny Clark, he's a great player. He's actually my locker neighbor. Yeah, I sit next to him. You know what I'm saying? And plane rides and all that, you kind of just get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? You ask around like, oh, is this seat taking, yada, yada, yada. See where you can fit in during like meetings and things like that. And, you just find an open seat, you sit down, and then, the rest will work itself out.
Were you surprised, or what were there any major differences in the culture in Green Bay, or just the organizationally? You've got a Super Bowl ring, right? So you come from a team won a Super Bowl, but I'm just kind of curious how Green Bay, outside of maybe the size of Green Bay, but how organizationally it's different, or maybe similar. Some of the other stops you've had along your career so far.
There's definitely from my time around the league, there's definitely some great things I see already established here between like leadership, the way people hold each other accountable, the standard that they set, things like that. You definitely see some similarities between like the great players and great teams and stuff like that. But I won't get into specific culture things. You know what I'm saying? That's insider.
Right.
That's insider culture. That's inside knowledge. You feel me? So. Yeah, and I don't want to, I don't want to talk about one team too high and one team too low.
We get that. But then, a follow-up question kind of off of that. We were so excited when we found out that you were going to be staying in Green Bay. Originally you come to Green Bay off of waivers, but now you hit free agency and you choose to come back to Green Bay. Why Green Bay? Did you feel like you had unfinished business? Because that's what we kept saying, is we felt like Justin Hollins has unfinished business in Green Bay. He's got a lot more to do at Lambeau Field. That was kind of our thought process, and we were hoping we'd get to see you more in green and gold.
Oh, for sure, man. I definitely felt like, just that short stint I had here last season, I feel like I needed to build from it. I had a lot more to show, and I feel like there's a lot more opportunity out there for me. Between the coaching staff, the players, I was a little bit more comfortable here. I see where I fit in and this and that. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like the best fit for me. And then I also just wanted to be in that green and gold. There's something different about it. Something different. Apparently, I'm attracted to the green, man. Oregon, Green Bay.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. And Justin, I think one of the things that was interesting, we were chatting a little bit before we started recording, that you noted that the pace seems to have picked up a little bit in the OTAs so far. And that from what you've heard, that's actually a little bit of a change from last offseason. So, younger team, but you've got some veteran guys, a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball too. So, could you talk a little bit about that from your perspective as a player and now a veteran player on the defensive side of the ball, and how that pace and maybe building that sense of urgency early on in the offseason programs can really set the tone and that progression as you move forward?
Just like you said, man, it's you got to set the tone. We got a young team, obviously. We got some young guys that came in, had a lot of draft picks. We definitely got some younger guys that are in position to step up this year. The coaches just want to set the tone early. We're not going to be scared. We're not going to shy away from anything. We're going to hit the ground running, and we're going to move from there, because the work is the work and the grind is the grind. It's going to work out for itself. That part always works out for itself. What you put in is what you get out. So, you just got to stay head down, stay focused, stay mentally strong, and continuously get physically stronger and mentally stronger as well.
Yeah, and just a follow up to that, I mean, you're still a young player, but at the same time, you are a vet now, right? So
I'm on my contract.
Yeah, for sure. And you see that. Do you feel like you're growing into a role where you're taking more of a voice and having more of a leadership role, particularly in your position group and kind of on the defense side of the ball as well?
Yeah, of course, man. As you get older, you know what I'm saying, you learn a couple things along the way every year. So, just that wisdom, that knowledge, that comfortability, you just you try to help the young guys, be a leader for them. Help them along the way, help them through the growing pains, because there is always growing pains, somewhere, somehow, if it's not on the field, off the field, anywhere. You just try to be that, that pillar for anybody that needs it. You feel me? And yeah, that's really it, man. Just being I'm out that contract now, so ain't no rookie deal. So you got to get it how you live, man.
Hey, where does the work ethic come from? You talk about how, the effort and what you get out, what you put in. Is that something that you learned at a young age? Is that something that just comes with time? But I feel like you've had a reputation in the league as a guy who puts in the effort, puts in the work. You're a hardworking guy. So where does that come from? Because I'm always interested talking with uniquely talented folks playing at a high level, no matter what it is, right? Sports or anything. Where does your drive come from?
Man, I think it just developed over time. Early on, usually in life and as a teenager kid, you lean more on your talent and your natural God-given ability. You know what I'm saying? And as you get older and as you go along, people always tell you, at some point that's not going to be good enough. And what's gonna separate you from the same people that are just as gifted and just as talented is that work ethic. And I guess I just kind of paid attention and just listened and took the wisdom as I went along, man, and learned a couple things along the way. Learned I would for sure tell you in high school I did not know how to practice. I will for sure tell you that. I was man. I was being lazy, all that type of thing. But get into college, a lot of that kind of hits you all at once, and it's either you grow or you fold, man. So I chose to grow.
Well, listen, Dane and I can definitely relate to that because we knew all the tricks to look like we were really putting in effort when it wasn't really putting in effort. So, and I'm not saying that's what you were doing, Justin, but it was pretty amazing. We could have coaches going by just praising you for working so hard, and meanwhile we're kind of just letting each other up a little bit. So, some of those drills you can really get away with quite a bit. But I digress, Justin. A little bit maybe more about yourself as a person. We've talked about you as a football player, your journey to the Packers, maybe a little bit of your journey in the NFL, but what can you share about yourself, or what are you willing to share about yourself that says more about you, Justin, the guy, the human being, and not just Justin, the football player? So just going to throw that out there and no expectations, but would love to hear what you would say about, or what your friends or family would say about you as Justin the guy.
That's okay. This is like an interview question, man. I would say, man, I'm off the field, man. Cool, calm, collected young guy, man, and just likes to have fun, hang out. Shoot, man, that is a job interview question. Oh,
well, you already got the job, Justin. So
yeah.
Now we're just talking.
Yeah, I got a job, man. But man, yeah, I just spare time. I like to just chill, play the game, get off my feet usually, because usually it's doing something active earlier in the day, whether that's working out, practice or anything like that, or even a game, try to save your legs as much as possible. But I play the game. I might pick up a camera, take some pictures with somebody, or I might model a little bit. I love to eat, by the way. So you probably will catch me at a restaurant or something, spending a little bit, getting a little wine, a little steak or something, things of that nature. And then, just everyday things like catch movies and stuff like that, maybe hit a hike, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And if you have any, recommendations for maybe, I don't know if Green Bay cuisine, I'm just going to go out there and say it doesn't compare with, what you're getting in LA or in Dallas.
Yeah.
However, I mean, it's different. So they got some spots. So you don't have to answer that right now, but maybe before we get done, if one comes to mind.
It ain't a restaurant, but today I had this new spot I just seen. It was called Little Jamaica, and they had some good jerk chicken. So I was like, that right now, that's about it I got for you locally. Yeah. There's been a lot of like commercial things and like Chipotle, things of that nature. And the facility food is great. It's grade A. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I usually get a couple extra orders, in, save a couple dollars, and and then eat good that way.
All right.
Pop in the microwave.
So we're gonna do something, Justin, and what that is the first game Wags and I go to this year. I think Wags, we've got to go to Little Jamaica before the game and just kind of channel it. So and we'll let you know, Justin, when you have that 3-sack game, that's probably because we're eating that food, that fine food that you're having.
Okay, all right, man. I got you, man. Matter of fact, get the oxtails too when you go, man. I don't know if y'all like oxtails.
See, this is good. Sure. We're getting the meal. Justin, quick question for you. Are you a music guy at all? Do you like listening to music before games? What are you into? Are you a guy that likes to get hyped up before a game, calm down before a game, and even just what are you listening to when you're driving around?
Well, before the game, I put it on shuffle. I put my whole thing on shuffle, man. I just start going through it. But anything that gives me a great vibe, gives me a little bit of energy, you know what I'm saying? It just makes me happy to hear it. That's what I'm listening to before the game. There is one album I will listen to. I have been listening to for a couple years before the game. It's it's the Die Lit by Playboi Carti album. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, I have been listening to that ever since my senior year in college. I have been listening to that before games. I don't know why. It was a great album to me. But and then when I ride around, man, it goes from old school R&B, hip hop and soul to rap to I might hear one or two, not a lot, one or two country songs, a couple pop songs. It really is whatever, really,
Yeah, that's awesome. Justin, is there any, as you look at your journey through college football into the NFL, are there any guys that you've really watched closely that you've tried to model yourself after, or that have really inspired you to really hit the weight rooms on those days that sometimes it's kind of hard to peel yourself out of bed, you're just not feeling the best? But just kind of curious if there's been any mentors, whether directly or indirectly, that you've kind of watched or followed along the way.
Sure, man. Of course, you got people like Aaron Donald who stay in the weight room. Sure, Kenny, he stay working out. He do Pilates, yoga, the whole nine. He gets the weight room, he does the whole nine too. So it's just seeing great players and great guys just do things like that, man. Early on, it was my dad. Really, early on, he was like, the day you don't feel like working out or doing whatever you thought about doing is usually the day you need to do it. He taught me that pretty early, man, and that's always stuck with me. So if I don't feel like doing something, like athletically or just physically, I usually end up doing it. I probably won't be as quick to do it as I normally would, but I'm gonna do it regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the days that you really need, and it helps build discipline and a routine. And those are the creators of habits. So.
Great. You're making me, now you're telling me I have to go for a run after this podcast is what you're telling me. I don't love that. So I want to be mindful of your time. I know you've been so kind to join us, as OTAs are going on. But did you get any extra when you got in the backfield against the Rams this last year? And kind of a two-parter on that, because you were super disruptive, I thought, in those 6 games you played for the Packers. So not just against the Rams, but generally. And number 2, who's the hardest quarterback you've had to chase after in your career so far?
First with the Rams and stuff, man, that was just fun, honestly, to just go against those guys in a real setting. Because you practice gives them so much during camp and then regular weeks. It was fun, man. I was out there smiling and laughing and talking a little noise with them. You know what I'm saying? I dapped everybody up after the game. And then the hardest quarterback, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. When we played Chicago, I mean, I was disruptive. I was back there, bro, but that boy feels he could really get up out of there. I'm not gonna lie, he's fast. He's kind of hard to get to. You know, if you don't win clean, it's kind of hard because he's gonna feel the pressure. He's gonna make some kind of athletic escape and try to go. And when he's going, he's moving. He is moving.
That's great. Harder than Russell Wilson back when he was on Seattle.
I mean, nah.
No,
That's not the same. No knock on Russell, nothing like that. I wouldn't dare disrespect Russell as a great player as he has been. But no, that's not the same. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh man, this is exciting because I feel like it's gonna be a chess match this year. Packers defense versus this Bears offense, and we're a Packer podcast. Packer versus Bears is always much CTV. Every game is, but certainly that is. I'm just excited to watch you get after it, Justin. This is a stacked edge group. This is a defensive group that we're really excited about. But I'm excited to watch you pin your ears back and just go get after it. And my final question is, I think I know the answer, but do you prefer playing against the run, or do you prefer just, dialing it up and going and hitting that quarterback?
Oh, man, I'm trying to go to the quarterback, man. Hey, third down, 3rd and 8. Let's go, man. I'm taking 3rd and 8 over 1st and 10, taking it 10 every day. Man, I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to get there, get to him. Forget that.
Yeah, for sure. And just to leave on this, Justin, what are some of your individual goals here for year 2 with the Packers, and what are your expectations for the team this year? Just I know you're not talking for the whole team, but just you individually, what do you think the internal expectations are with this team?
Man, shoot, honestly, man, I would say everybody take it one game at a time. No matter what happens, always and give your best effort, man. No matter what's going on, what's happening, just give it your best effort one game at a time. That's all you could ever expect, really. You know what I'm saying? Expectation-wise. You could expect, to win Super Bowl, say you want a goal of doing this, that. But in order to do and get to all those goals, man, expectation is the standard we set. You gotta go balls to the wall, man. Every play, every game, every quarter, and it'll all work out itself at that point, man. And then individually, man, I'm kind of just, in the same mindset as last year, man. I want to make an impact and help contribute to our team winning in any way I can. That's how I came in. I feel like that kind of propelled me in the right direction. I feel like we gonna stay on that course right now. We ain't gonna say, I need this, I need that, you know what I'm saying? And you get sidetracked away from playing ball, and every day, every game, I'm just trying to play ball and help this team win, no matter how that happens. As long as we winning, I'm living, man. So.
Well, Justin, that's fantastic. And I think that's a great note to end on. We really appreciate you taking the time to jump on. We're going to be cheering hard and watching you closely as you move through the rest of the offseason into the season. Best of luck with the season. If we don't chat or connect at all, thanks again. And before you go, if you don't mind giving us a Go Pack Go, well, that'll be our kind of sign off here for tonight.
All right, man. Here we go. Go Pack Go.
Yeah, go Pack Go. Justin Hollins, Edge for the Packers. Thanks so much, Justin. Have an awesome night. We appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all, man.
Thanks, Justin.
Every year I know we gonna go hard. We been that team ever since Bart started. All my cheese heads go Pack Go. Ain't showing no mercy, cutting no slack, no. I ain't a bad sport and I'll even wish you good luck.